Hey guys, so here I'm gonna do my labor and delivery story. My baby's asleep, so it's a good time. So anyway, it happened when I was 40 weeks, 5 days, and it was the 20th of May, 2012. So what happened was, it was a Saturday, and I just went about my usual Saturday. We go out and walk and stuff. Is she waking up? Walk around, shop. I had one contraction that day. It was the first contraction I actually felt like it was painful. I was like, oh, what the hell's going on? But I thought, I was already losing hope. I was gonna, probably get induced. That's what I was thinking. So, that night we went to brother-in-law and sister-in-law's housewarming party, and everyone there was just like, when are you due? And obviously I was like, 5 days ago. So yeah, it was a bit frustrating, but it was good because there was a few moms there and there was a few kids there, and it was good. They gave me little support and motivation to hang in there and wait. It will happen. So, and they had this old midwife tell that one of the girls said, if you're around babies, it would make your baby want to come out. So I went around and touching all the babies. That sounds bad, but getting them to rub my tummy and just talking to them, and it was cool. But anyway, we ended up going home early, and so me and my husband were just watching TV or a show, and next thing I know I feel this like gush of water just coming out. I was just lying down. I was like, uh-oh, did I pee myself, or was that my water? But I was like, no, that must be my water. So I was like, babe, I think my water broke. And lucky I had towel there. I've had that for like ages, hoping that my water would break. I was about to take it off because I was already losing hope, but thank God I didn't, because it gushed out, and I had to run to the bathroom and then just look, and I was like, oh yay! I was so excited, but calm at the same time. I was like, oh, it's gonna be a while, but yes, it's finally on the way. So I went, and for some reason I felt like I needed to poo. Sorry for the TMI, but yeah, so I did my business, and then I felt icky, so I was like, I'm gonna go take a shower, which I did. And then I called my midwife and said, my water broke, and she said, okay, just let me know when you're 10 minutes apart, and also if anything wrong is happening, like the baby stops moving and stuff. So okay, cool. So I finished packing my bag for the hospital, fussed around for an hour, and then I finally went down. And then so I was lying down, and I had the first official contraction, and I was like, oh yay, ow. But excited, so I put down, I'm timing it, and my husband's like, okay, just get some rest, try to anyway, because it's a long time till it comes. And so I was trying to rest, but I was like, it's like 2 minutes apart, and I was like, okay, that's weird. It was from 4 and then 2 minutes, and then it was 3 minutes. So I was like, okay, that's kind of weird, it's not stable. And then all of a sudden it was just 2 minutes apart, and sometimes it was just like I felt like there was no break. And I tried to call my midwife, but she was delivering another baby, so I was okay. But my husband's like, let's just go to the hospital because that's too close together. So we went rushing to the hospital, and we got there, and I couldn't walk. I was just like, hold on, wait. It was so painful, and there was no like break in my mind, because I've been watching so many YouTube videos and all these labor and delivery stories. They're like 10 minutes apart, half an hour, and they have breaks. So I was thinking, okay, what's happening to me? And so we got there, and then we had to wait because there was no midwife available. My midwife was obviously giving birth to someone else, and I was waiting in the waiting room and having these intense contractions until one of the nurse finally saw me and like, oh gosh, you're in a lot of pain, get in. So we got into the birthing room, and she asked me, all the stuff, when did it start? It was like an hour ago. And then she said, is it okay if I do a check? And so she did a check, and then she was like, how long did you say you're having your contractions for? And I was like, oh, about an hour or 30 minutes to count it as in fully, regular as in 2 minutes apart, and sometimes not even any apart. So she was like, you're already 5 centimeters dilated. And I was like, holy crap. And your cervix are really, it's complete. And I was like, it's, what did they call it? Softened, or, you know what I mean. But yeah, so we were like shocked, and we're like, oh wow, that's a lot. And then so we're thinking, okay, this is going to be a long way, maybe it's going to slow down now. And the contractions just got more intense and more intense, and then finally I got told, oh, your midwife had to go home because she was so tired she can't deliver. And so I had this backup lady, Wendy. She was great. She's like, get on to the point. She's not like, oh, it's alright, darling. Like, there was no, she was just like, okay, you're giving birth and blah blah. Oh, and I forgot to mention, when I got to the hospital, I said epidural. I need the epidural. So they did put an IV in me before they checked down there and stuff, and we had to wait for the blood test. So yeah, I was waiting for that, and the midwife. And then the midwife finally came, and she's sitting there, and she's like, okay, are you alright? And then I was like, not really, these contractions are not stopping. Sometimes I get like a few seconds apart, and I just couldn't breathe. And so they offered me the gas. First they offered me some injection for pain relief, and I was like, no, I'm gonna do it just with epidural. I even said no to the gas for a while, but then my pains just got really bad, so I was like, okay, fine, let me just try the gas, which completely did nothing for the pain, to be honest. I think it's just for, I don't know, it just made me like, really tired and sleepy in between the contractions, which is okay. And people say it helps with your breathing, like it makes you focus because you have to suck in and blow out and stuff. So I had that, and then so when he was like, okay, let's check you, and this is all happening within like an hour. So let's say we got to the hospital at 12, and then at 1 the nurse checked me, and then at 1, and then 1:30 Wendy came in and she checked me, and she was like, what dilation were you when you came in? I was like, 5. And then she's like, oh gosh. And then she was like, you were about 7. And I was like, oh my god, this is all happening so fast. So I was like in so much pain, and so I got into the shower, hot shower, on my back. Didn't do anything for my pain either, but just a distraction. Then I finally got this focus point. I was just in the zone. I just said, I gotta focus on my breathing so that this can be over, and just try to get it pain free. I thought I was gonna scream and shout and stuff, but I was so focused on my breathing. All I was thinking was like, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, and then eventually I had to go into the bed, and she said, do you feel any pushing urges? And I've been feeling this pushing urge for like half an hour. So around 3, that's happened, no, around 2 something, they put me on the bed and they got me ready, and then finally every contraction I got to push. It was so painful. I don't know, to me there's no relief in pushing, but I don't know, it was just painful. I didn't like it. And I'm just muddled up. It was too late for the epidural. So since it's happening so fast, and I had, my bloods hadn't even come back, and I was already 8 centimeters, and I was already ready to push. So they were like, okay, sorry, we can't give you the epidural, but you can do this. So I was like, okay, just stop this. I'm just gonna push. So we were pushing and breathing and pushing and breathing for like, say, 50 minutes. And then the midwife, I think, she kind of thought, oh, maybe the baby's not gonna fit. So she started calling like another nurse and the doctor. And I was thinking, oh my God, I'm gonna have a cesarean. So I was like, I've been pushing for so long and I'm gonna have a cesarean. And so I was freaking out and I was like, I can't do this, I can't do this, I can't. And then the nurse came in and she was like, oh, you can do this, you can do this. And I was like, no, I can't. Yeah. And then eventually they were just like, okay, you need to listen to me and listen to what I'm saying and how you need to breathe, blah, blah, and how you need to push. So I was so focused. I was like, okay, listen to what they're saying. Maybe it's, and then they're finally like, I can see it, I can see it, I can see the hair. The baby has long hair. And I was like, okay. And then finally I was crowning. And in my mind, I was thinking, isn't this supposed to hurt more? Like, they're talking about the ring of fire or something. It just, nothing just compared to the pain of my contractions. So everything was just, they even did the episiotomy and I didn't even feel that. And I teared a little bit and I didn't feel any of that. I was just like, I did. I just pushed and then, she came out at 4:14 a.m. And oh my goodness, it was just like, oh, that's a Sunday. Oh, I got the dates wrong from the beginning. So I would have started the contractions on 19th, which is a Saturday. And then gave birth 20th. Yeah, that's it. Sorry. I'm just jumping all over the place. But, she came out healthy with her eyes open. She came out, eyes open and everything. And she didn't cry at all. I was just getting worried. I was like, is she meant to cry? But, she wasn't purple. In fact, she was kind of like, she looked like a baby that's been, a week old, Everyone's like, oh gosh. She wasn't wrinkly. The only thing she had was like the little cone head, which now is gone. So it's pretty fast. It's only been like 3 or 4 days, so that's good. They put her on my chest and we just stayed there for a while and she was just staring at everything. And she didn't cry at all. And then one of the nurses took the blanket off her and just to see if she would cry. And she did cry. She did a little cry. She cried for about 30 seconds or to a minute or something. And then she stopped and she was just so alert. She was just looking and listening to everyone. And then it was pretty fast. It was a 4.5 hour labor and delivery. Drug free except for the gas, which is nothing. And I got a tear and a episiotomy. And I gave birth to my placenta. It was really huge and really healthy, so that was good. And they sewed it up there. And 4 hours later, after they finished everything, they asked me, if I wanted to go to the birthing unit and stay there for a few days, or if I wanted to go home, or what was my plan. And I just said, I'm going to go home. So they were like shocked, because they were already shocked because it was my first time giving birth, and that was that short and that fast, and then now I want to go home. So they're like, oh gosh, you're brave. So I was like, yep, go home. So we went home, and that's pretty much it. It just happened so quickly. I have no footage. I'm so sorry. I planned for all these things. I even had my sister-in-law. I already told her, she's going to do the camera and stuff. But everything just went so fast, and I didn't even have breaks in between my contractions to even worry about anything. So I'm sorry, but I hope it explains everything. And I'll update you guys more on the baby and me next time. So thanks for watching. Bye bye.